want to introduce you to two of my favorite monitors of all time that I think you're going to love too, and your wallet is going to especially love. Because KTC reached out to sponsor this video with their G42P5 gaming monitor as well as their M27T20 gaming monitor, and they are honestly insanely good value for the money. So let's start off talking about this beauty that's right behind me. This is their 42-inch G42P5. As you would want from a 42-inch monitor like this, it's 4K. It's high refresh rate, coming in with an overclock of 138 Hertz. It has a 0.1 millisecond gray-to-gray response time, and it has so many other features that I want to detail. But the thing that I want to highlight first and foremost as you're looking at it is the bezel-less display that they have right here. You have basically seamless edge-to-edge visuals on whatever you're enjoying on this gaming monitor. The thing that I've been rocking is very clearly Final Fantasy 16. It's been something that's been right up my alley, and playing it on this has been impeccable, especially because it supports variable refresh rate, either FreeSync or G-Sync compatibility on PC, but also supports VRR on a PlayStation. Which you might be wondering, Brett, why did you use a monitor of this caliber with a PlayStation? And it's because it looks like one. The aesthetic language of the G42P5 is very, very reminiscent of what Sony has going on with their PlayStation. This thing will fit at home in whatever your home theater setup is, because it is absolutely stunning, especially with the stand, which actually has RGB running through the back of the stand as well as on the bottom of it. And then you have this crisp metal design on the rest of the monitor, which is both hiding the I/O as well as just completing this nice, just matte white look. And I mentioned it's metal. It sounds amazing. I love that. A very industrial feel to this monitor. And the best part is you don't have to have the stand if you don't want to. If you're planning on VESA mounting this, you can actually buy this monitor without the stand, or you can purchase this stand separately if you decide later on that you don't want it, or you can just buy it as an all-in-one package. But the stand, as I mentioned, does have RGB and includes a -5 to +20 tilt so that you can get a great viewing angle on it no matter what. But for installing the stand, I just want to give a quick shout out to KTC. The screwdriver they include with this thing is the best screwdriver I've ever gotten with, number one, a gaming monitor, but number two, any sort of PC hardware that I've ever purchased. This thing is super robust, magnetic, so you don't lose the screws while you're installing the stand. It's just these small things that you get with high quality products such as this KTC monitor. No, why'd you go to sleep? Actually, because I haven't touched it in a while, which is one of the good things about what KTC's implemented in this monitor. They have several OLED saving features. You navigate on the menu in the advanced settings, you'll find that it does have the OLED pixel refresher as well as OLED expert to make sure that the panel is going to last long and that you're not subject to burning. Which, on top of the fantastic screwdriver, a remote is included. Now, you do have the little joystick menu down here at the bottom, but obviously this is a big monitor. You might not be sitting up close, which is where this handy dandy little remote comes in. You can control all of the menu settings. You can change the volume level on this bad boy because it does have two 8-watt speakers included in case you want to listen to the sound that's actually included with the monitor. But you can control the gamut of things that you want, whether that's turning on or off the overclock that's on the monitor, as well as putting on variable refresh rate, also known as adaptive sync. Then you have game assist things like crosshairs or FPS counters that you can show off, as well as a low input lag mode to make sure you're getting the smoothest response time possible, which you will because they've used a high quality LGD WBE panel in here. This has 10-bit color, 99% of the DCI-P3 color space, a delta E value out of the box of less than 2, and it has this nano textured glass that just allows it to have this really good look, even with a bright studio light, as you can see being reflected here. It is matted out. The nano texture glass makes it look incredible, as well as the bezel-less display. But you also have a whole bunch of connectivity. You've got DisplayPort 1.4. You have two HDMI 2.1 so that you can support that 4K 138 Hertz. Additionally, you have USB 3.0 up, which can act as a KVM switch to the USB 3.0 down 2 ports that you have on it, as well as supporting Type-C display connection, which also supports 90-watt power delivery 3.0. And and they threw in a headphone jack in case you sit really close to this bad boy. I've been absolutely blown away by the G42P5 ever since I took it out of the box. From that unboxing experience where it looks like a giant candy bar inside the box itself, to the nano texture coating on the panel, as well as the metal design and just the white and black aesthetic and color scheme that they went with here. This has honestly turned out to be an office favorite. Reese really loves this bad boy, don't you?
Oh yeah.
I've been enjoying the heck out of it with Final Fantasy 16, and I haven't mentioned the price yet, and it's actually really good for all of these features that you're getting, up to that 130 hertz refresh rate, all of those OLED features that I mentioned. The sleek design, this is coming in for $1,099 with just the panel right now on sale on KTC's website, or if you have this monitor stand included, that's $1199.99, which, just considering the amount of specs you're getting, the design, the quality of the LGD panel, everything that I could do for you both in gaming, but also with color correction, with having that color support and that good Delta E value, this is a really incredible value when it comes to gaming monitors. But let me tell you about the second one that I haven't shown off yet, which is an even better value. I didn't think it was possible, but this is the one that I think a lot of people are going to consider picking up. I also didn't mention it, but it has like a metal cover to cover all of the I/O back here, which just, once again, the aesthetic design choice is super on point here. This is so much lighter. The reason we're having to bring this over is because this has been sitting on Reese's desk for the last few weeks, and we're having to disassemble it so that I can show it off to everybody.
I was using this.
Sorry, I gotta film the video. He's been using this for his design work. All of the thumbnails that you've been seeing on UFD Tech have been made by him on this monitor. And when he's been streaming as well, it has been on this M27T20 monitor. Reese has been also enjoying Final Fantasy 16 on his PlayStation on this because it also has a ton of features, again, for an incredible price point. So this is a 27-inch 1440p 165 hertz 1 millisecond mini LED panel, which that mini LED just means that it has 576 zones of full array local dimming, which means it has different brightness zones as opposed to being edge lit like typical LED panels or individually lit pixels like with OLED monitors. This is a compromise between the two, getting you closer to OLED, but still retaining a ton of good features, like the fact that this supports HDR 1000, which means you have 1000 nits of typical HDR brightness, which means that the bright scenes in a game like this will be properly displayed alongside the black levels that are also there. And its typical SDR brightness is 500 nits, which, if you know anything about SDR displays, that's a lot. Did you know this has 500 nits SDR?
Oh yeah.
It blows you away every time you turn it on, doesn't it?
Every single time.
And it has quantum dot technology, which gives it 93% of the DCI-P3 color space. And again, very similar to the OLED panel, a Delta E of less than 2 straight out of the box. And for gaming, this is still just as robust. Variable refresh rate, adaptive sync, FreeSync, and G-Sync compatibility all rolled into one, as well as still offering a KVM switch, which allows you to control multiple computers with one uplink. Which for I/O, this has the USB 3.0 up, 2 USB 3.0 down, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, a DisplayPort 1.4 port, a Type-C DisplayPort, which can also support 90 watts of power for your laptop or whatever device you have plugged into it, as well as a headphone port in case you want that. It also has 2x2 watt speakers, and the stand is also very robust. It has 360-degree adjustment, whether that's pivoting the display, rotating it, or tilting it. You have all of that there. And it even has RGB on the back of the display itself so that it can have some light up on your wall. For all of these specs, you used to pay a pretty penny. I remember my HDR 400 monitor, which was not mini LED, it was just regular LED. That cost me $500 back in the day, and that was just 1440p 120 hertz. This, with 1440p 165 hertz and 1000 nits HDR brightness on mini LED, only costs $489.99 on KTC's website right now. The amount of value that KTC has decided to just shove into their monitors is honestly baffling. This is the second time that we've gotten to check out some of their monitors, and I honestly constantly am blown away by the quality, and then when I find out the price and how much they're selling it for, I just feel like they're constantly providing great value. That's the way I love doing these partnered videos that we have, that I enjoy and appreciate the product first and foremost. I love these monitors by themselves, but then finding out that they're also a great value for you guys, the audience, really gets me going. So the M27T20, fantastic price. The G42P5 as well, offering a ton of robust features with a super clean aesthetic at a value value price point. If you're looking for something more premium or OLED or big, they have a lot of options for you to check out. So you can check out KTC's monitors at the link in the video description. The G42P5, the M27T20. Big thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. I love working with them. I love these monitors. Reese, you can have this back. I'm done with the video now.
Yes!
Woohoo!